This episode is about my personal decision on egg freezing. Egg freezing has become really common and more talked about these days. Welcome back to the PCOS Holistic Coach podcast with me, Dr. Ami Patel, pharmacist, fellow sister, and coach. This podcast is an easy to listen to resource for your busy on-the-go life. You will learn how you can live a healthier and happier life with PCOS from real conversations about managing PCOS and the symptoms with amazing guest speakers. Welcome back to the PCOS Holistic Coach YouTube channel and podcast. This episode is about my personal decision on egg freezing. Egg freezing has become really common and more talked about these days, and many people share their journey through the process of egg freezing. So I decided to do a little bit of a different episode and talk about my personal decision, thought process I went through, and I hope it can help you think about the right questions to ask yourself. First of all, know that having kids naturally with PCOS is 100% possible, and that's not what this episode is specifically about, but I just wanted to clear that up. Second, egg freezing is an extremely personal decision. There's no right or wrong answer. This is just me sharing my perspective on it. Know that egg freezing is an extremely personal decision. There's a lot of things to consider, not just finances, but support, finding the right practice and facility to go through this process with, the impact on your body, the impact on your emotions. There's a lot of things to consider, and there's no right or wrong answer. Long story short, I decided I'm not going to freeze my eggs. But now for the long story. So the reason that I even thought and considered it for quite a while is because in 2022 I went through a divorce, and I realized that in 2023 now I'm 33 years old, and as women we have a biological clock, so I can't just ignore that fact. So I wanted to kind of give myself more time and see if freezing my eggs would give me the opportunity to have kids in the future if I choose to do so, without the pressure of rushing into a relationship or finding a partner for the sake of having kids. So this is why I was thinking about whether I should freeze my eggs or not. And then I was kind of at the end of 2022, I was forcing myself to kind of make a decision, like I should decide if I want to do that in 2023, and if I do, then I should start the process. But I just couldn't really decide, but I was sort of forcing myself, like, hey, you really need to decide, you're running out of time. Also, as a PCOS holistic coach and wanting to do things more naturally, the part about injecting medications and things into my body just didn't really sit with me well. But then, being a pharmacist, I do appreciate that we have these medications now so that it gives people the opportunity to do something like this that we wouldn't otherwise have. So I was definitely torn between both of those sides of it. Living with PCOS has been a lonely experience for me. I've felt even more alone around the holidays. Although the holidays can be full of fun and special memories, they've also been filled with anxiety about comments people may make about my weight when I'm planning to have kids or any of my other PCOS symptoms. The holidays have been a stressful time with travel, food at holiday parties, and just being out of my usual routine, which manages my PCOS. Over the years, I've learned how to get through the holidays while being in control of my PCOS. Now, you don't have to go through this upcoming holiday season alone or stressed. I am launching a PCOS holistic healing community in October 2023. Inside the community, you can connect with like-minded individuals who also want to prioritize taking control of their PCOS, monthly educational sessions followed by Q&As, participate in guest expert interviews, and have one-to-one coaching support from me. Submit your information via the Google form linked in the description to learn more and save your spot inside this exclusive community. Now, back to the episode. The other thing is that first I even asked myself, like, do I even want to actually have kids, or do I just think I want to have kids because that's what's expected of me? And through everything I went through in 2022 and going through coaching and therapy and my self-discovery trip and all of that, I just asked myself that question, like, first of all, do I even want to have kids, or is that what's expected of me as a South Asian woman and society and culture? Because it's just expected that you go to school, you get married, you have kids, and you live happily ever after. So that was the first thing. And then through my trip, I actually met a lot of people that lived life very differently, and not by that one way that I knew that I should be living life. And many people were living very happy, fulfilled lives that were either single or married but didn't have kids, and just living life on their own terms. So that just got me thinking about that. And through my trip, the answer actually just came to me that I do want to have kids, but I just don't want to freeze my eggs right now. The other thing that happened in my trip is that I really connected with myself and my faith, and it just made me accept a lot of the things that happened to me, and it made me realize that everything happens for a reason, and that I truly believe that, and that even if it was a bad thing, it happened for a reason, and that whatever is going to happen to me in the future, everything will work out like it's meant to be, whether it is to have kids in the future or not. I really do truly believe that. And I know not everyone may believe that, and that's fine, but that's just my beliefs. So I believe that I'm going to leave it up to God and the universe to see where life takes me, if that means kids in my future or not. Going along with that, just having trust in myself and my body that when the time is right, I will be able to have kids, and that my health and PCOS will be managed, and just trusting myself in that process. The third reason, I realized that in 2022, when I was trying to force myself to kind of make a decision and think that I should freeze my eggs, it was coming more from a scarcity mindset and a mindset of like, okay, I'm running out of time. But I decided that if I do go forward with the decision of freezing my eggs in the future, then I want it to come from a place of abundance and opportunity, that, hey, I'm doing this to give myself the opportunity to have kids that I may not have otherwise. And this is my decision now, but I may change my decision, and that's perfectly okay. I'm giving myself the grace and time and ability to change my mind, like we all deserve to have. When I talk about trusting myself and my body, I mean more so that there was a point in my life where I was kind of feeling forced to want to have kids, or in a situation where kids was just expected as the next thing in life. But my body was telling me that that's not what is meant for me, and I wasn't getting my periods regularly at that time, which of course I'm super grateful for now. But now it's more so trusting my body and myself, that when I'm in the right relationship with the right person, if we are meant to have kids, then my body will be supporting that decision and the environment that I'm going to be in. Those thoughts were also kind of leading into my mindset and making me force myself, like, maybe I should freeze my eggs because of the doubt and fear that I was having that I may not ever be able to have kids again, or I may not meet someone. But now I'm not in that mindset. And I want you to ask yourselves these questions. Do you actually want to have kids? And if you do want to freeze your eggs, are you doing it from a scarcity mindset? Are you doing it with a lot of fear and doubt and concerns about your future? Or are you approaching it more from an abundant mindset that, hey, you want to give yourself this opportunity, you want to have options? I think that's really important to keep in mind with any decision you make, especially a decision like this one. The last thing I wanted to mention for me, I decided that personally I am living a very fulfilled life right now, and it doesn't include having kids. And I know that I can continue to live a very happy, fulfilled life without kids. However, I do want to have kids because I know that it will bring another sense of joy, happiness, and love that I can't experience in any other way. So that is definitely something I do want, but just to summarize, I do trust that things will work out for me as they're meant to. And for now, my decision is that I'm not going to freeze my eggs, with the caveat that I may change my mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram, and I will catch you in the next episode. As always, be kind to yourself, be patient, and focus on progress, not perfection. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on the podcast so it can reach other listeners that need support with their PCOS. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to connect with you. Send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok at pcos.holistic.coach. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.